Tonight, we return to a place that never tried to be remembered. A quiet medieval village resting far from trade roads and far from anything important. Nothing here was written down with care, and nothing here was considered worth preserving. The village wakes slowly, not because the people are tired, but because there has never been a reason to wake quickly. Morning arrives as a pale light spreading gently across wooden walls and uneven roofs. Inside the houses, people rise from simple beds filled with straw, their movements guided by habit rather than thought. The air is cool and slightly damp, carrying the familiar smell of earth, smoke, and old wood. No one pauses to admire the morning, because it looks the same as every other morning they have known. A door opens and closes softly, not to avoid noise, but because the hinges have always moved that way. Outside, the ground is firm and uneven beneath bare feet, shaped by countless days of the same footsteps passing over it. A woman lifts a clay pot from the corner of her home and sets it near the fire, adding water without measuring, because her hands already know how much is enough. The fire responds slowly, offering just enough warmth to be useful, never more. Smoke drifts upward in thin, lazy lines, disappearing into the sky without leaving a mark. Somewhere nearby, a bucket is lowered into a well, the rope creaking in a slow rhythm that has never changed. Water rises, cool and clear, and is carried away without comment. Breakfast is prepared in silence, made of grains boiled until soft, eaten from the same bowls used every day. The taste is plain and familiar, requiring no reaction. Outside, the village path remains quiet, marked by yesterday's tracks and tomorrow's expectations, both equally unimportant. Chickens wander freely, stopping when they feel like it, moving again when they do not. Nothing here asks to be remembered. Nothing here tries to stand out. The village simply continues, breathing slowly, as another ordinary day begins exactly as it always has. As the morning settles fully into the village, nothing announces that time is moving forward, yet everything quietly responds to it. People drift into their work without discussion, without planning, because the work has always been waiting for them. Hands reach for tools worn smooth by years of use, tools that fit naturally into the palms that have held them since youth. There is no sense of beginning and no sense of ending, only a continuation of motions repeated so often that they no longer require attention. In the fields beyond the houses, soil is turned slowly, not to improve it, but simply to keep it from being forgotten. The ground feels cool and familiar, pressing gently against fingers and feet. Seeds are placed without hope or worry, because hope and worry have never changed the outcome here. The air carries the soft sounds of movement, fabric brushing against skin, breath moving in and out, the dull contact of metal touching earth. These sounds do not interrupt the silence, they become part of it. The sun climbs higher in the sky, though no one looks up to acknowledge it. Shadows shorten and shift across the ground, unnoticed and unimportant. A cart moves along the village path at a steady, unchanging pace, its wheels producing a slow, repetitive rhythm that fades as naturally as it arrives. Words are rarely spoken, and when they are, they serve no purpose beyond filling a moment that would have passed just as easily without them. Faces remain calm, neither happy nor unhappy, shaped by acceptance rather than emotion. Time does not press forward here. It drifts, stretching each moment until it blends seamlessly into the next. The village remains steady and unchanged, holding on to its quiet routine as the morning slowly becomes midday, without ceremony and without pause. By the time the day reaches the point that might be called midday, the village has not noticed the change. Light rests more directly on the roofs and paths, warming the wood and the ground in a way that feels neither pleasant nor unpleasant, only expected. Work continues at the same slow pace, not adjusted for the hour, because hours are not measured here. Someone pauses briefly to straighten their back, not from exhaustion but from routine, then returns to the same simple task without thought. In the shade of a tree near the edge of the fields, a man sits quietly, repairing a tool that does not truly need repair, smoothing a surface that is already smooth enough. The motion keeps his hands occupied, and that is reason enough to continue. Nearby, cloth dries on a simple line, moving slightly when the air shifts, then settling again into stillness. No one watches it. Hunger arrives gently, without urgency, and food is eaten when it is ready, not when it is demanded. The meal is no different from the one before, and no different from the one that will follow later. Bowls are emptied slowly, placed aside carefully and forgotten. Conversation remains minimal, not out of tension, but because silence has always felt complete on its own. The village exists in this state of balance, where nothing improves and nothing declines. The day does not build toward anything. It simply continues, stretching forward with the same calm weight, as the light slowly begins to soften without anyone marking the moment it changes. As the light slowly begins to soften, the village shifts almost imperceptibly, not because anyone decides to change pace, but because the body responds to the day without being asked. The warmth that rested on the ground fades slightly, replaced by a cooler touch that feels familiar and unremarkable. Tools are set down not all at once, but one by one, when hands decide they have done enough for now. Nothing signals that this moment is different from any other, yet the work gradually loosens its hold. People move back toward their homes along the same paths they have followed countless times before, their steps steady and unhurried. Dust rises gently with each movement, then settles again as if it had never been disturbed. Inside the houses, fires are stirred once more, not to create comfort, but to maintain it. Small flames catch slowly, taking their time, spreading warmth in a quiet and predictable way. Water is poured, grains are added, and pots are set to rest over the fire without supervision. These motions require no thought, no attention, no variation. Outside, animals drift closer to familiar resting places, guided by memory rather than instinct. The sounds of the village remain soft and scattered, never combining into anything that demands notice. Light continues its gradual retreat, stretching shadows across walls and ground, though no one stops to watch them lengthen. The day eases forward, losing its shape, becoming less defined, as afternoon gives way to early evening without anyone feeling the need to name it. Evening settles over the village without announcing itself, arriving gently as light fades from the sky and colors soften into quieter tones. The air cools a little more, brushing against skin in a way that feels expected and ordinary. Inside the houses, simple meals finish cooking at their own pace, steam lifting slowly before disappearing. People sit where they always sit, eating without hurry, tasting nothing new and expecting nothing different. Bowls are emptied, hands are wiped on worn cloth, and everything is returned to its familiar place. There is no conversation meant to be remembered, only a few quiet words exchanged when silence briefly feels too wide, then allowed to return. Outside, the village path grows darker, though it remains easy to follow for those who have walked it every day of their lives. Fires glow softly through small openings, casting uneven light onto the ground. The sky deepens gradually, stars appearing one by one, unnoticed by anyone who has no reason to look up. Animals settle into stillness, their movements slowing until they stop entirely. The village does not prepare for tomorrow, because tomorrow will arrive exactly as today did. As the night becomes complete, doors are closed gently, not to keep anything out, but to maintain the quiet within. Breathing slows, bodies rest. The village grows smaller, quieter, and softer, holding itself in place as another unremarkable day comes to a calm and unnoticed end. Night rests fully over the village now, not as something heavy or dramatic, but as a natural extension of the day that came before it. Darkness fills the spaces between houses, softening their shapes until edges blur and details fade away. Inside, the fires burn low, offering just enough warmth to remain useful, never demanding attention. People lie down slowly, adjusting blankets that feel rough but familiar, settling into positions their bodies already know. There is no reflection on the day that has passed, because it holds nothing worth reviewing. Outside, the air is still, interrupted only by the occasional quiet sound of an animal shifting in its sleep or wood adjusting as it cools. The village feels smaller at night, drawn inward, contained within itself. Time stretches without direction, moments slipping into one another without resistance. Somewhere a faint breeze moves through grass, then disappears again, leaving no trace. Sleep arrives gradually, not all at once, touching one house, then another, until the village rests as a whole. Nothing changes while everyone sleeps, and nothing needs to. The world remains exactly as it was, waiting patiently for morning to return in its own slow and predictable way. Sometime during the deep part of the night, when there is no clear sense of hour or moment, the village remains unchanged, resting quietly beneath the dark sky. The fires have softened further, glowing faintly before settling into near stillness. Breathing rises and falls in slow, uneven rhythms, different in each house but equally unimportant. The air feels cool and steady, carrying no scent strong enough to notice. Outside, the paths lie empty, holding the memory of footsteps without needing to show them. Wood and stone release the warmth they gathered during the day, doing so gradually without sound. Nothing moves with intention. Nothing waits to happen. The village exists in a pause that does not feel temporary, a long, quiet stretch where time seems to loosen its grip. Eventually, without warning or signal, the darkness begins to thin. It does not retreat suddenly. It softens at the edges, allowing a faint suggestion of light to return. No one stirs yet. The village remains still, resting inside this slow transition, as night gently gives way to the earliest hint of morning, repeating a pattern that has never required attention. The first signs of morning return so gradually that they feel almost imaginary. A soft light spreading thinly across the village without changing its shape. The houses remain still, their outlines slowly becoming clearer as darkness loosens its hold. Inside, bodies remain at rest, breathing steady, unaware that night is ending. The air feels slightly cooler now, carrying the quiet freshness that always arrives before the day fully begins. Somewhere a bird stirs without calling out, then settles again. Fires that burned low through the night leave behind faint warmth, enough to be noticed, but not enough to matter. Time resumes its gentle movement without anyone asking it to. Eventually, someone shifts in their sleep, then grows still again. Another person wakes briefly, not fully, then returns to rest without forming a thought. The village does not rush toward morning. It allows morning to arrive on its own. Light continues to spread slowly, touching the ground, the walls, the paths, without changing anything about them. Nothing new is expected from this day, and nothing will be different. The village prepares without awareness to repeat itself once more, as it always has. As morning slowly becomes complete again, the village returns to the quiet state it left behind only a short time ago. Light rests gently on the ground, revealing nothing that was not already there. Doors open one by one, not in response to sound or signal, but simply because this is what always happens next. People step outside with the same calm movements, their faces empty of expectation. The air feels familiar, neither fresh nor stale, just present. Water is drawn from the well again, the rope making the same soft sound it has made for years. Fires are encouraged back to life, offering warmth that feels routine rather than comforting. Breakfast is prepared in the same way, with the same ingredients, eaten at the same slow pace. The village does not acknowledge that a new day has begun, because it feels identical to the one before it. Time folds gently over itself, erasing the distinction between yesterday and today. The paths receive new footprints that will fade just like the old ones did. The fields wait quietly, unchanged and patient. Everything resumes its place without resistance, as the cycle continues without purpose and without end.